All right, good morning, everyone. So it is September 14th right now, and I just really wanted to document this because this first couple of weeks of September has been very, very kind of unusual. Some historical weather and stuff that I haven't never seen before here. So if you guys are new to my channel, I am in LA County. I am pretty much, if I go south, I'm pretty much a straight shot 10 miles to the beach. If I go west, I'm about 20 miles to the beach. So that's where I'm at, kind of coastal Los Angeles County. So let's talk about the first couple weeks of September. So towards the end of August, I was really getting into like kind of powdery mildew weather. It looks like how it looks like right now. Everything's been was kind of grayish. Powdery mildew is beginning to develop, and then we got into September, and first week of September has been some of the hottest weather I've seen for like a stretch like this. So the whole time, for about, gosh, I mean, it was 7, 8, or 9 days. It was either like 98, 99, like very high 90s, or very low hundreds, which would be like 102, 103. We even had a day that hit 110. I can't even remember the last time that happened, and I can't even remember this kind of week-long heat wave like this where we're just hovering in the hundreds. So with that in mind, like the early part of that heat wave, a lot of stuff was kind of flushing. Then towards the end of the heat wave, like stuff that was looked like it was beginning to flush kind of just stalled out. So now it's September 14th, and the heat wave ended around Tuesday, Wednesday. So going from like this 100-degree kind of weather, we've been kind of mostly in like below 80, we'll say, for the good part, below 80. And pretty much nighttime temps have kind of dipped back down to like the low 60s. During that heat wave, I mean, it was like midnight and it was 80 degrees outside. It was very, very strange. Like, at least in my area, it is very strange. So during that heat wave, even nighttime temps was hovering in like the 80s. So kind of keeping that in mind, I was kind of just wanted to document that, kind of say that on video, kind of keep some record of it. But since that heat wave, it's been like 78, 79 and stuff. It's not even breaking 80 most of the days, and we are back into this very kind of gloomy weather. So it looks like this. It's pretty much gray until I would say noon, and then the sun peaks out and it's a bit more sunny. But for the most part, all the mornings has been kind of like this kind of grayish sky until the sun peaks out. All right, so that is the update for kind of the first couple of weeks of September. Probably a bit more detail than you guys want, but I thought I was gonna start out this video because things are beginning to like either had flush or really beginning to flush. So in the next couple of weeks, things are probably gonna look a lot different. But I wanted to kind of go through this video kind of very detailed because I don't think I've done that in a while in terms of listing the different graphs on here and just kind of showing you guys how the various varieties and how it's been doing. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one. So kind of bear with me. It's very detailed and probably boring for some of you guys. So let's check out this first tree. These are rootstocks I planted out in 2019. So they are pretty much only 5-year-old trees, and in my opinion, they look pretty good for a 5-year-old tree, especially in California, considering the slower growth rates we get here. So let's check it out. Let's kind of go through all the different varieties on here. So hopefully I could try to remember everything and have tags for everything. So this is the variety Dolores. I have yet to get any fruit on this. It grows okay, but the blooms seems to be pretty powdery mildew prone and other fungal issue prone. So hasn't really fruited for me. It's beginning to push growth again. Here's the graph line you can see right here. This black stuff you see here is a tree wound sealer, and I like to use that on my graft after I remove the grafting tape and everything, just because here in California, I've noticed like they take such a long time to heal. Even like a couple years afterward, this graft areas would be still oozing like sap. So that's why I like to kind of seal it off with this like a tree wound sealer. It kind of helps to me heal, and it kind of keeps the graft from, like, if I have some windy days, I think it kind of helps. In my mind, it kind of helps from the graft breaking and stuff like that too. So that's what you see on a lot of my grafts like this. Okay, so that is Dolores. Let's see what else I got here. This is what for the longest time I thought was lemon zest, but this is actually peach cobbler right here. Peach cobbler, much more of a recent graft. Here's a grasshopper right here, and don't mind me, I'm just squishing it, kind of getting it out of the way. So peach cobbler right here. This is a Thai variety called Fallon, which I grafted earlier this year. Okay, so let's see, this is a little gem right here. This is a graft line right here. It's doing okay. It did have lots of fruits that ripened in March for me, like about 4, so that's why maybe it's not growing that fast as far as this year goes. Okay, let's see. This is Super Julie, and I have lots of Super Julie grafts. I don't really know, like this is like the only branch out of this. You could see everything else is nice and green, and this only branch, I don't know why it's yellow. So I think it might be due to the sunburn when it flushed at the wrong time. So that's what I think. So hopefully it is beginning to flush again. Hopefully this new flush I could tell if it's green and it's healthy or not. But this is a bit unusual, kind of seeing this really light branch right here, and everything else is kind of this dark green. I mean, it's the same rootstock. They're all getting the same nutrients. So very unusual. I think it was due to sunburn, but I'm not quite sure until this finished flushing, this new flush. Okay, behind that is a variety called Sunrise. There it goes. It's beginning to flush. Here's the graft line right there. Okay. Up next is Sweetheart. Very nice large graft right here. Okay, and most of these grafts took place in 2022. Just kind of keep that in mind. I did have maybe a couple grafts I was able to kind of get on at the end of 2021. It was like, you know, pretty much kind of fall, early winter kind of grafts I was able to take. But for the most part, these are all grafted in 2022. So this is how it looks like for a couple years already. Okay, let's see, I added a couple new grafts on here. Let's see, what's these? So this is Jahangir. Looks like it's pushing, doing really well, considering I only grafted this a few days ago. Let's see, grafted this 9/9, so maybe 5 days ago. It's pushing, looking good. Some of my Jahangir grafts has taken, but been slow to really grow or anything like that. Here's an M4 that I recently grafted. Okay, so on to the next tree, and this one has been the largest of the 2019 Verne, Manila, and it was always kind of a bit more vigorous grow than the other ones. You know, you kind of get that from you know, just kind of variation in the seedlings, but it was my most vigorous one, and it's been like that since it started growing out. So this one has a lot of stuff going on here. Let's see. This is Harvest Moon right here. This is regular Alfonso right here. It's flushing. I got right here my seedling California Vermit. I got right here an ice cream. Let's see, there's a prom chimea right here. It looks like it's about to flush. Very nice. This is a Valkyrie right here. Right here is a Jin Huang right here. Made a graft to banking a poly, but I don't think it's gonna make it. Let's see. This is a buttercream that's grafted. This is a variety from Taiwan that's kind of polyembryonic, and it's used a lot as rootstocks, and it's called TU. So it is pushing right there. And this is from a friend of mine, Frank. Thanks, Frank. Thanks for this. Looks like I am getting some success on this graft. So let's see. It's called TU. Widely used as a rootstock in Taiwan. Okay, let's see what else I got here. Just more Jahangir grafts. This is a Verne Manila seedling selection. It's pretty unique in terms that it produces almost fiberless fruits that are about like 8 inches long. Almost looks like a like a Valencia Pride or some of the Thai mangoes, but it's a Verne Manila seedling. So we'll see how this goes in this area of the yard. Okay, what else I got here? This is a honey kiss, and this one does not look good. It did not grow at all this year. It's been a very slow grower, and not sure. I think this graft may end up dying back, or may end up just dying. Let's see what else we got here. Ambrosia, that's ambrosia right there. It flushed a few times. I've been trying to keep the ambrosia part of the ambrosia tree kind of down. I left like the bloom stalks on, everything, just kind of keep it from getting too vigorous, because I wanted at least some of the other varieties to kind of catch up to it. So I think that kind of did help, because I think leaving those spent blossom blooms on did kind of slow it down a bit. So those spent blooms are kind of dried up and gone now, and I think it's going to start pushing a lot more growth, but at least some of the other varieties kind of caught up to it. So this is ambrosia. You can see right here, it's where the graft is at. Very vigorous grower. This is a seedling Sunpari, grafted this year. I really want to see what it does. Hopefully it kind of, if it flowers and fruits, I will let it flower and fruit just to taste it, because I do have the seedling, and I just want to see what this will end up producing. Here's an M4 grafted this year, and it looks like it's gonna flush again, which is very nice. Here's Juliet, very dwarf-like, very slow growing, and it's about to flush. Behind it right here is a diamond. You hear a lot of mixed things about this variety. It's kind of one of those in the category of Malikas, where people say it's good or it's vomit. So this is the variety diamond. Alright, let's check this out. What else is left? Okay, so this right here that you see right here, that's flushing really nicely. That's beginning to flush. This one is Sindri, so that one's doing really well. The one back there that's flushing, that is Safida Lucknow. Don't really know much about it, haven't found too much information on it, but it is vigorous. Both these varieties has been pretty vigorous growers. Up next right here is what is this? Shawinta? I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right, but you know, it's one of those that's been getting rebranded name. I think it's called Raw Honey right now. Okay, this is Maha Chinook. Really nice. I love the growth on the Maha. They always produce this long inner nodes between flushes. Very nice. So Maha Chinook. Let's see. Okay, this is the next tree. Oh, I did forget one more thing, and probably one of the more important ones. So this one is Pineapple Pleasure. So I got a huge fruit right now on it. This is huge. So we'll see. I bagged it, put some steel mesh just because it's hanging pretty low to the ground. I don't want anything eating it. But this is Pineapple Pleasure. It looks like it's gonna hold up. So if everything goes okay for the next several months, it'll be one I will get to taste for the first time. Pineapple Pleasure right here. Okay, on to the next tree. Okay, what do I got here? Let me try to remember everything. So here's another maha right here because I like maha. It's a good flavor. It's not like an exceptional mind-blowing flavor, but it's good and it kind of ticks the box for everything. So I'm trying to get it more established on my tree, just as a variety to have as a consistent producer. So that's maha right here. This is the variety guava, or should be called Saint Talon. This is the variety called Giselle, which is really nice and vigorous. Look at that. This is orange sherbet right here. I think it's about to flush. Let's see what else I got here. This is Sassy Love. Sassy Love's not that great of a grower in my opinion in California. Here's a Super Julie. I just cut this way back because I did not like the growth that was kind of getting from the graft. Let's see what else I got here. So you see that right there behind that. That is a Nam Dak Mai Mun. This right here, Nam Dak Mai Mun. And here's an orange sherbet. No, orange essence. There's an orange essence right here. This is a Zell variety called N12. Alright, let's see. Let's keep on going. This is Malika, but I'm beginning to kind of add some other varieties onto it. It's probably Malika's not really one I really desire to have that too many spare of it. So this is for the most part Malika, but I've grafted Jahangir. Here's another Jahangir right here that's flushing. Okay, here's Sweet Tart right here. So Sweet Tart right here. The flush has seemed to kind of stalled for a bit, so hopefully it will flush out pretty soon. Let's see, that's a Duncan right there. So I have a Duncan right there. Another Prom Chimea. I think that's about it on this tree. So here's the rootstock. I did leave part of the rootstock, the Laverne Manila rootstock around. So okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, this tree has always been, well, not always been, it turned into like one of my worst tree in terms of kind of like vigor, in terms of shaping, just because what happened was I had lots of failed grafts. So it kind of butchered the shape of the tree. So it's one of those things where I've said it before in the past, like when you're grafting, so when it doesn't take, especially when you're dealing with like those ship scions, and it doesn't take, it kind of messes up your planning and messes up the tree for a bit. And sometimes you do it too many times, you really set back the tree when you get all those failed grafts. So that's an example of this, what happened here. So this is Little Gem right here. It has one nubbin. Look at that, a nubbin. This is the variety Carler. Also has a nubbin. I'm going to let that kind of ripen up. The one behind it is Tom Pecan. And then probably the most interesting one, well, the ones I'm looking forward to the most, this is Super Julie. So I have a lot of Super Julie grafts, and I'm gonna probably bag and try to weight this up because it is getting heavy. But this one looks like nice healthy fruits, so that's Super Julie. Maybe a couple hold, and then I'll be able to taste what a Super Julie should taste like if I'm getting a full-size fruits. So this one's probably gonna get staked up. It's way too heavy, but I have so many grafts of Super Julie. I'm gonna just let it fruit and get to taste it. If this was my only graft, I would kind of recommend to you guys to don't let it fruit. It definitely needs a few more years on the graft. Okay. Up next, this is St. Maui. I really love how vigorous St. Maui grows, but it does get kind of lengthy, but it also gives you a lot of vertical shoots too. So these are all beginning to push already, all these St. Maui. I didn't get any fruits this year, but I did some heavy pruning. Well, heavy for this because it was kind of leaning too much, so it took down some large branches on it, but that's St. Maui. This is Sassy Love right here. Sassy Love. I mean, I do have a nice size graft of Sassy Love, but like I say, I don't really recommend this for California, at least not for California. I mean, people say it tastes similar to Sweet Tart. I would say you should just go with Sweet Tart. This is getting a lot of hype currently right now, but maybe it's more, Florida focused. I mean, California, don't really recommend Sassy Love in California. You just kind of might well just go for a Sweet Tart. Okay, here's a California Remit, my seedling selection, and this is a Iman Pasan. Has not done well. It's dwarf-like in nature, and I don't think I might have got one flush this year. I don't think I got a flush this year, so it's kind of been slowing down. Need to figure something out. This is really good food. One of my favorite food. I just need to figure out what to do with this variety. I might have to dedicate a whole tree to it or something like that. Okay, this right here is a seedling scion that has not matured, that is grafted on here. I want to see what it will do this winter, when it's going to stop blooming and so forth. But this is a seedling of lemon zest and very strong Indian spice. Like my favorite. Out of everything I've grown and kind of selected for seedlings, this has been my favorite, just purely based on the scent and the terpenes of the leaf. So we'll see what happens. I would like to try to taste this as soon as possible, but we'll see when it blooms. A lot of these seedling experiments I'm doing is kind of testing both for just try to prevent it from blooming, but also see if some stuff does bloom earlier. So let's see what happens. Okay, up next, let's see what's going on here. A lot of this section right here is my California Remit, but I did graft some. These are creme brulee. Grafted those recently. This is a Banga Nepali. Let's see, I have here is Dupree Saigon. So this right here is Dupree Saigon. Looks like it's about to flush, so that's great. This is a Jin Huang right here, about to flush. Let's see what else I got. Here's a fruit cocktail right here. Looks like it's flushing, but it's kind of getting swamped out by the other varieties that are a bit more vigorous, So, like for example, okay, this right here is Zebda, Egyptian variety right here. But behind it, right here, like this long one, and from the branches behind this right here, is Hini Besanawa. I think it's also another Egyptian variety. Okay. Alright, so that is this tree. Okay, on to the next tree. So this has a lot of, well, it doesn't have a lot of cack, but when I grab the cack is so vigorous growing. So look at this thing, and like this was all pretty much like 1 year's growth, and I've been just pruning it back so many times just because it's been growing. I just hope eventually produce some fruit for me next year, but it's cack right here, just right here on top. Right here is Super Geely. Right here, they're beginning to flush. I have a Munkan C right here. It's a Thai variety. It probably doesn't really match up with the vigor of these other varieties, but I really need a place to graft this, kind of get some backup of it. This is Cotton Candy. Another thing that hasn't so far seemed to be that vigorous, but I'm hoping it's Cotton Candy. There's always that fear in me that I have mislabeled scions. So that's Cotton Candy. Okay, up next, let's see, this is Little Gem right here. Some damage, sun damage. It's probably gonna fall off. Let's see, I have Foregon right here. This is Juliet. It's beginning to flush, which is nice. Wow, considering it's holding on to a fruit, I'm surprised it's flushing. So I really want to try Juliet. So right here is Peach Cobbler. Sunburn. This yellowing is sunburn, but it doesn't seem to be any damage besides just turning the skin yellow. But these two right here are Peach Cobbler. And let's see what else I got. Oh, I got a few Graham here. So here's Graham, and then there's like another one behind it. I like Graham. You know, the most unusual thing about Graham was that last year I picked one. To me, I thought it was still very green and underripe, but it ripened quite nicely. I have a lot of difficulty picking fruits kind of mature green here in my area and having it ripen properly. You know, I don't think it's the same climate as the tropics of Florida where I could do that. So most of the times they don't ripen. So this is Graham. So all right, guys, I mean, that's about it. That's my update for mid-month right now. So I think a lot of trees is going to look quite different next month after all these stems flush. Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Bit longer video than I thought it was going to be, but you guys stuck to it to the end. Thanks for checking it out. All right, thanks.